Hi, Jenny here. Today I thought I would make a video comparing an ileostomy to a colostomy. Seeing as I've had both, I thought I would just give you my take on each of them. So I also first want to say thank you again to all of you who have been sticking around with me, and welcome all my new subscribers. I have hit 2,000 subscribers now, so yay, that's very nice. I'm very excited about that. Very grateful, so very grateful. So thank you for joining me. If you're new here, I'm Jenny. I am 57 years old. I was diagnosed with a cancerous tumor in my rectum last February 7th, so 2023. So I've had a year-long journey of going through chemotherapy and radiation, and finally had my surgery December 7th, where they were able to remove the tumor and they got all the cancer out, and I am now in remission. So yay! Excited about that too. Very grateful, very grateful. And I know part of it is due to all of you guys following me and offering up your prayers. So I believe in the power of prayer, and it's helped me through many low times and helped me through this whole journey. So I really appreciate all of you guys. So again, thank you for staying here with me on my journey. So in any case, yes, I've had both an ileostomy and now I have a colostomy. So there are some differences that, like I said again, this is just what I've gone through. Some people have the same journey, some don't. Some end up with just an ileostomy, some have just a colostomy, some have one or the other and end up getting them reversed. And so there's all that. So hopefully I can answer some questions, give some information out there. If any of you are going through this yourselves, going to have to go through this, or you already have one or the other, and same thing, you might find the same things that I do, or maybe different, or you'll see this and say, oh yeah, I'm going through that too, and no, it's kind of normal. Because I know that always helped me out too, of seeing some other video and going, oh, you experienced that? Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. So, first of all, the location of them. Ileostomy is usually on your right side. My camera up high, I can't even say it. Woo! On your right abdomen. And the colostomy is usually on the left abdomen. And again, that's just geography. I forgot, I was going to try to find a picture. So in any case, obviously your small intestines are all kind of, in the middle. You go from your stomach and it goes all the small intestines, and then it goes around, and this may or may not be backwards because I'm thinking of the picture I'm looking at. Okay, let me try to do it correct for you guys. It would go into the large intestine. So you have the ascending large colon, the transverse colon, the descending colon, the sigmoid colon, and then the rectum. And so when you get the ileostomy, it's usually right after around the appendix areas. I guess that's the ileum, which is why they call it an ileostomy. And so that is on your right hand side. And so that's why that comes out on the right side for the ileostomy. The colostomy, depending on what part of your colon they're going to use, is usually why it comes out on the left side. So my doctor told me that for the descending colon, I know where the sigmoid is. I think she kind of cut it right at the area, like right where it bends. I'm pretty sure she took out the whole sigmoid. I think that's what she told me. Took out the sigmoid colon and the rectum. Now, because I had already had an ileostomy and I had a hole on that side, where the ileostomy came out, the stoma. So the part that does stick out of your stomach, they take your intestines and they bring it out of your stomach, and what they do is they kind of fold over. I saw somebody do this demonstration. Like, say this is your intestines, and they pull this part of your intestines out of your stomach, and then they fold it back. And then what they do is they sew that area onto your skin. So that's how your stoma is formed. And because of two things for me, because I already had a hole on that side, and because they were removing my whole rectum and they needed to sew up the anus area, they took a stomach muscle. So they took one of my rectus abdominis muscles and they folded that down. They were able to cover up the back of my vaginal wall with that because the cancer had been spread kind of out through my colon wall and was on the vaginal wall. So they cut that whole area out. So the stomach muscle was able to take care of that area and then also cover up the rectum area so they could sew all that shut. So because they were taking a muscle out of my left side, they were hoping to be able to take the colon and put it on where the other hole was, which they were, which I'm also grateful for. So it was all kind of, I think, dependent on my main surgeon of whether she could use that same hole or not, whether she was going to be able to get the colon over on that side. Otherwise, she would have had to put it on the left side. They did mark me for that, for just in case. And then he was going to have to try to use the muscle on the right side. Again, seeing as the stoma had already been there, he was hoping to use the left side and all that. So again, for me, gratefully, it all worked out. So again, could be right side, could be left side. Again, geography. It's just, that doesn't really matter. Stomas can be different sizes. So my colostomy stoma isn't really that much bigger than the ileostomy stoma. I was kind of surprised. I thought it would be bigger, thinking the colon was a little bit bigger than the small intestine. But for me, they're fairly the same size. They can also change sizes. So when you first get your stoma, again, you're also kind of bloated from surgery and all that, and it's nice and easy to change your bags, and you have a nice round, hopefully roundish, usually they're round, sometimes they can be oval, stoma sticking out, and you can change that easily. And then of course, as you start healing, your stomach will go down a little bit, or whatever, your stoma may change shape. It may, like I said, mine became more oval, and the height. I know sometimes it would kind of grow. Sometimes I was having it where, as it went to change, it kind of shrunk back a little bit so that it was almost even with the skin. And I got a little worried. Sometimes that can happen too, where your stomach can retract. And again, see your doctor. If you have any of those type of questions, call a stoma nurse. You can call your surgeon, get a hold of your doctor, or a regular doctor, mainly your surgeon, because they're the ones that know what they did to your area and they know all about the stomas and how that works. I'm also ostomy nurse. So I know the hospitals that I've gone to, I know the main hospital has a stoma nurse. I was told that another hospital I go to also has the stoma nurse. So again, I don't know if those are at all hospitals, but there should be a way that they can even get you in contact with someone that has a whole lot of knowledge on the stomas and how they work. So if you have any skin issues, again, obviously that can happen on either side, depending on the products you're using. It could be your skin might become allergic to it. Sometimes as you're using a product, it can be okay for a while, and then something happens and your skin decides to have an issue. But then again, call your doctors, call your nurses, figure things out. There are also some support groups online that you can ask questions to, and they can help out. They can give you ideas of what they've done. But again, for me, my colostomy, they were able to get the stoma out through that same hole, so mine is on the right-hand side. So if you're looking at different things for people, you don't know. We know they could have one or the other. Again, not that it really matters. It still functions the same per se as in stool now comes out your stomach as opposed to going through your butt. So that's one. For me, with the ileostomy, I had output all day long. So pretty much every time I was going to the bathroom, I was emptying my bag. Again, personal preference. I didn't like to really have anything in my bag. I just like to have it out, especially if I was going to be, laying on the couch or even just sitting. I'm sitting at my computer. I would think even if it's only, a quarter full or whatever, I didn't want to sit there and all of a sudden have a whole bunch more come out and then really have to kind of like run to the bathroom or whatever. It was like, every time I went in, I emptied my bag. With the colostomy, usually you only get output, so I've been told, a couple times a day. It could be once a day, twice a day. It could be every other day. And so there's that. So kind of the good and the bad. It's kind of like I was thinking, having the colostomy, I was kind of happy that maybe I'd be able to sleep through the whole night and not have to get up, because again, with the ileostomy, you should be emptying your bag about every 4 hours. And so I would set an alarm. Sometimes I'd set an alarm. Sometimes I'd usually wake up in the middle of the night anyways. And I would just get up. If I did wake up, it was a matter of I would get up and go to the bathroom and see if I needed to empty the bag. Because sometimes in bed I'd be feeling the bag and I was like, well, it feels like there's a little bit of gas in there, but as it would, and then I'd get up and I might have actually some stool in there, and it was like, oh, didn't know I had that. So, yeah. So with the ileostomy, I was still kind of waking up. Again, sometime you may be able to go the whole night and not have to do that. For me, it was more comforting, and I usually had stuff in there. And again, even after 4 hours, there were some days, depending on what I ate for dinner or something, that I'd wake up in the morning and my bag would be totally full of gas. It would be like a big balloon. It was like, ooh, ah. So I made it to the bathroom. It was like I didn't have a leak or anything. Thank goodness it didn't pop off me. But in any case, so with the colostomy, knowing that, oh, I may only go once or twice a day, you know, hopefully I could sleep through the whole night and not have to get up and empty. Well, at this point in time, still, my body is deciding that, oh, you're resting now? It's nighttime? It's like, oh, you're all nice and relaxed. We're just going to poop. So, great, okay. So, you know, then I'm laying in bed for a while, and then, you know, knowing that, you know, I might have something go through, I'm okay. Well, then I get up and empty again so I can go to bed. And again, like I said, at this point, I'm still waking up at least once in a night, whether, you know, somewhere between 2 and 3 in the morning usually. And I'll get up and go to the bathroom and usually empty the bag again, just because if there's something in there, I just empty it. Another bonus with a colostomy, you can actually control when you go by doing something called irrigation. The stoma nurse mentioned that when I had that appointment, when we had talked about which one she had to mark me for on the left side, just right before surgery, just in case they were going to use the left side for the colostomy. And she kind of gave me a colostomy update of, again, what's different about the colostomy than the ileostomy. And she had mentioned irrigation. Didn't really go into it. It was a matter of, it's just something to look into if you wanted to do that. And again, I have, I think, seen that on some of the Facebook groups that I'm on, of people mentioning that. And I did find, so far I've only found one channel of somebody that has a colostomy, that has a channel out there that has put up videos. And he does that. He does the irrigation. And so what that does is kind of, it's basically giving yourself like an enema. It goes through the stoma, and you have your output, and that's supposedly supposed to clean you out for the day. And you're supposed to do that at the same time every day. And after doing it for, I think, a couple of weeks or 4 weeks or something, your body gets trained to know that, okay, it just goes at that certain time every day. So I have not, I've not looked into that myself. I haven't, again, I feel I'm still kind of new to all this, and I want to get used to how my own body is doing, and maybe see if I get into my own routine or anything. At this point in time, again, if you've seen my videos when I first came out of the hospital, within the month or whatever, I ended up having a blockage that I had to go in for, and I went to the hospital for that. Came out, and it was like, okay, a little leery about eating some foods, or, you know, food in general. And so that's the bad thing about after having a blockage, or, you know, kind of knowing what that's about, and you don't really want to go through that at all again. That I'd rather have output like every day, couple times a day. I'm good with that. Because otherwise it's a matter of, if I'm not having any stool output, then it's like, do I have a blockage? Because it takes, you know, a while, obviously, to have that blockage and have it get backed up to the point of that you actually feel pain and feel sick. So it's kind of like, okay, I'll take that output, you know, several times a day, and that way I know I can keep putting food in, which is very good, because again, I also lost a ton of weight through all this stuff, so I need to gain a few pounds back. In any case, right now I'm actually having it, I think, even more than, again, I did right in the beginning. Again, my surgery was December 7th, so I haven't had the colostomy for that long. So at this point, like I said, it's several times. At this point, there are some times that I see some stool in there and I just kind of let it go because I'm like, all right, there's just a little bit. I can let this one go for a little while till there's some more in there and wait to empty it. The stool output on a colostomy is a little bit thicker than in the ileostomy. The ileostomy was a lot more waterier. Sometimes I would have it like applesauce, oatmeal consistency. But a lot of times it was waterier, and that's also part of because of all the treatments going through, the chemo kind of made it more waterier. You'd have like the diarrhea and radiation made it more that way. So in between those times and stuff when I kind of either had a break or had that, my stool would thicken up a little bit. Okay. Didn't even see my battery blinking on there because I'm facing the window, so I got lots of light coming at me. I'm a ring light. So battery just died. Change that. Okay, so anyways, with the ileostomy, you have your output kind of all day long and it's thinner. So again, why you also want to empty it more often and through the night. So like I said, with the colostomy, you can try to regulate that by doing the irrigation. With the ileostomy, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that because the output is thinner. The other thing that then you kind of have to worry about with the ileostomy is electrolytes. So because you're losing so much fluid, you're losing your electrolytes and you could become dehydrated quicker. I didn't have that problem. I didn't feel dehydrated. I'm not a really big drinker, so I was kind of surprised at that. I know when I was going through chemo, they did offer me fluids if I wanted them in between sessions. I've heard of people that have taken them. I didn't feel the need for them. I do watch a channel called LetsTalkIBD with Maggie. She has a permanent ileostomy and she has a problem with her electrolytes and fluids and all that, trying to keep herself hydrated, and she had gone in for fluids for a while. I don't know if she's still doing that. She might be. So every week or 2 weeks or something, she'd go in and get an IV of fluids to help her out. So with that, again with the ileostomy, you want to drink a lot of fluids to keep your electrolytes up. With the colostomy, your colon is the part that absorbs a lot of the fluids and absorbs the water and stuff. So there's really not kind of the fear. There's really not the electrolyte problem, the absorption, getting enough of your electrolytes or being dehydrated. I've noticed that I need to drink a little bit more to kind of help prevent the pancaking effect of your output. So sometimes when you have a little bit thicker stool output, it'll come out and it'll kind of stay right at the stoma area. It won't fall down into the bag. It kind of stays there and it's real thick and all that. So I've had that with my ileostomy though too. So technically I suppose I wasn't drinking enough where I would have that. I would kind of feel the stool come out and I would have this big honking like golf ball size, or sometimes less. But I would have the poo sitting there, and so then it was like I would kind of mush the sides of the bag to kind of get it up, and so it would fall down. Right now with the colostomy, it's when I empty the bag, I'll just make sure I get some extra air in there and get the air all the way up to the top around the stoma, and then all the stool falls away and I can empty the bag. So on that note, there are some electrolyte products on the market that you can have to help you out. There is Gatorade and stuff that you can drink. What I've heard, those aren't the best. I guess it's something that you can use those. But otherwise, there are other products. There's something called Drip Drop. There's another one. Gatorade even has some tablets. There's Liquid IV, which is what I was using to keep my electrolytes up. I was drinking these a lot, especially during my radiation process. One of my things was I had to drink 20 to 24 ounces of water before each treatment, which was every day. And again, not being a big drinker, and I had to get that down in 10 minutes. and it was just like, so that would fill the stomach, get the stomach out of the way, so for radiation that my stomach wasn't affected. Which I guess I did a good job because my stomach, or not my stomach, my bladder, had to get the bladder out of the way. So yeah, I did a good job because my bladder's fine. I know I go to the doctor's appointments and they're all like, how's your urination? How's that going? I'm like, urination is fine. So I did a good job. So this one is grape. They come in all different flavors. There's grape is good. I like strawberry. There is like a fruit punch. And then they also have some sugar-free ones because those are a little bit sweet. So I tried a sugar-free grape, I think. It was okay. And this is sugar-free peach. That's okay. I'm not sponsored by these guys at all, but I do have a link down below to an Amazon page that you can check out these products if you want to. Check them out. So basically what I would do is, again, doing chemo, one of the side effects is that you, it's hard to drink cold things. Your mouth, it just feels like it's burning. You've got glass in your mouth. And even room temperature water was the same. It was like too cold for me. So I ended up having to heat up water in the microwave for like 30 seconds and, drink that. And this, again, that was still kind of, cool off. But somehow my husband happened to have a bottle of Fiji water in his backpack. And I thought, let's try some bottled water and see how that works. And this worked well for me and I could drink it at room temperature and it was fine. And then having to do the radiation stuff, like I said, I had to drink a lot. It was just easier to take one of these bottles and fill it up and drink the whole thing, and I knew how much I was drinking. Granted, obviously, you can take your own water bottle and fill it up with 16 ounces of water and put one of these packets in. But I figured I would do that too while I'm doing this. So you take that. The large packets here obviously are, this one has 14 in it. I think these are 16. Yeah, this one comes with 16. So they're little packets that you just open up and pour in your bottle. And my husband takes his own water bottle, and it's a little bigger bottle, so he takes 2 packets in his. But, so we just pour it in. You could take a regular cup also just out of the cabinet and do this, which we have, but then you need a spoon or something else to help stir it, or a stir stick. You keep that in there because then you need to, obviously shake it up. And then as it sits during the day, sometimes the stuff settles in there. So again, it's just nicer to have some type of a water bottle so that you can keep shaking it every time before you take a sip, so it's well mixed and not when you get to the bottom and you get all that silty stuff like that. So, yay. If you know of any other products in that too, you can leave them down in the comments below. Again, we can help each other out, give me different options of things to try. And give you guys ideas if you haven't tried any of these things of what to try, and it may help you out. So I know there's one other product that Maggie mentioned. She kind of went between 3. Noon. That was the other one she had. N-U-U-N. She would try those tablets. Those are little fizzy tablets that, again, you drop in your drink and it fizzes up. I don't think she really had to stir those or anything at all. It would just do its thing and she would drink those. So again, there are different products out there. Just find the one that works for you, that you like. So I know I've given my daughter a couple different ones of these to try, and she was just like, yeah, not so much. She doesn't care for them. But so, again, gotta find something that works for you. All right. So another thing, again, a little difference between the ileostomy and the colostomy is what I found is for digestion length. Depending on what I've eaten, whether it be like some soup, or as I mentioned before, like if I have a smoothie and I have some kale in there, my mixer has it where I still have these teeny tiny pieces of like kale in my smoothie. And so I would notice in the stool output I would have little pieces of so I'd have little pieces of kale in there, and I could say, oh yeah, I had that 5 hours ago. So for me, My ileostomy pretty much would take about 5 hours to have the food processed through. With the colostomy, it seems to be about 24 hours. Again, I think I had some soup, I had carrots in there, whatever, and I at one time finally happened to see some little piece of carrot in my stool, and or a little piece of, I think, spinach that was in some soup. So I don't have a lot in the colostomy. It's pretty much just stool. I tried eating some cranberries? Beets. Not cranberries, I had beets. I had some beets with some lunch one of the days, thinking, ooh, one of the times, again, I had them with the ileostomy, just thinking as I was trying to add different foods back in. Because when you first get your stomas, either one, you kind of are on a low fiber diet for a while till the body kind of gets used to what it's all going through, this new process, and you slowly add foods back in. So with my ileostomy, I had some beets one day, and then I go to the bathroom and it was red, blood red in my bag, and I freaked out. I was just like, oh my god, am I bleeding? Where am I bleeding from? What's going on? Do I need to, call the doctor? Oh, I had beets. That's right. And in one of the handouts I got from the hospital, it gave on there like foods that could help slow output, foods that would thin out the output, and foods that would make it, colored, and foods that would make it kind of more stinky. But so the foods that would come out colored, beets was one of those, and it was just like, okay, I'm good. Well, and then that obviously went away quickly. And so it was like, okay, lesson learned. So then I thought, oh, okay, with the colostomy, I want to figure out how long it's taking for digestion. And so I thought, oh, I've got some beets in the house, let me try some beets. And I did, and I didn't notice any difference. So, I was paying attention for that day and even the next day, and I didn't see anything. So I'm very surprised. And I've had beets again since then. Thinking, okay, well, maybe I didn't notice last time, and I still didn't notice. So I found that very interesting. So as far as I can tell, like I said again, it's about 24 hours for the colostomy, and 5 hours for the ileostomy. So again, that's why the whole electrolyte thing and whatever is food moves through a lot faster with just the small intestine. So again, these are my time frames. This is what works for me. For you, it may be different. Another kind of difference between the ileostomy and the colostomy is that with the ileostomy, you may have a little bit more food restrictions than you do with the colostomy. The one main thing that my surgeon had told me that I couldn't eat was shellfish, that the small intestine can't digest shellfish. So again, that's what I was told. I don't eat fish in the first place. Never really cared for it and all that. So I didn't have a worry about that, didn't have to think about that. I know sometimes they tell you can't eat popcorn, but I know people that have had ileostomies and they do eat popcorn. It's just to make sure that you are chewing really well and that you don't eat the kernel part. So if you have any of the hard kernels and all that, to not eat them, to spit them out. So just be wary of that. And then raw vegetables. Some of you have to be a little bit more careful with an ileostomy, eating raw vegetables, to make sure again that you're really chewing them up well so that you don't get the blockage. So just make it easier to digest, easier for your small intestine to be able to digest those type of foods. So cooked vegetables, just fine. With the colostomy, you're supposed to pretty much be able to eat just a normal diet. Again, slowly adding in foods. Like I said, start with that low fiber diet, and then slowly adding, foods back in that are a little bit higher fiber and all that. So I'm looking forward to getting back to the point of eating salads. It's been over a year. Well, I did eat a little bit of salad. I've had a little handful of lettuce. I know that I was eating, that's actually before the colostomy, before that surgery. So yeah, looking forward to being able to eat salads again. So one of the main things of, again, having the ostomy with both ileostomy, colostomy, whatever, is to chew your food. So I'm very conscious of chew, 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 chew. So again, partly why you may see some different parts of food. Again, more so like I said with my ileostomy, when I see some stuff come out. Only once I had like one kernel of corn come out that I was like, oh, so I missed that one. I missed chewing that one. But otherwise, even with corn, I was fine having, corn in soup and stuff like that. I don't know if I really had a side of corn at all. I didn't want to eat too much at any point in time, but again, as long as it's cooked, everything should be fine. And yeah, chew, chew, chew. The other thing that I've noticed, difference between the two, and again, the ostomy nurse hinted at this, was that with the ileostomy, there wasn't really much of a smell. Now, as you just mentioned, different foods can have different effects on your bowels. And again, same as a normal person, right? And so if you eat sometimes like fish or asparagus or whatever, you may have more stinkier output. So with the ileostomy, every once in a while, when I'd empty it, I would notice that it would smell kind of bad. But for the most part, there really wasn't much of a smell. It was fine. With the colostomy, oh my Lord, it smells so bad. Now again, this could be different from you guys. A person that has even a whole regular digestive system is, right? You poop, sometimes they smell really bad. It's, right? The Ace Ventura thing. Woo! Don't go in there. With my colostomy, every single one. So, and it doesn't matter how much is in the bag. Whether, I don't know, part of it has to do with how much gas is in the bag. If I have a little bit of poo, if I have a whole lot of poo, it smells up the whole house. I feel so bad for my family. Thank God they're fine about it. My husband's like, whatever, don't worry about it. I don't, and he's like, once in a while I notice. My daughter hasn't said anything. I'm just kind of then more conscious about if somebody's coming over. I haven't had to go yet being out and about. So in a public restroom I haven't yet, or going over to a friend's house or anything. Because obviously, I think as my last video said, I'm finally feeling better. I'm finally getting out and about. So I haven't had to do that yet, but I'm very conscious of it. So, I've tried at home here. One of the things I've tried is, like, right after emptying the bag, I flush the toilet, and then I proceed with cleaning up the bag and finishing off what I need to do to then close up the bag and be good to go. That seems to help a little bit. Other than that, I'm using the candles that I've gotten over the years. That I wasn't much of a candle person, again, not really being home. Now that I'm home and stuff, that I'm lighting candles, trying that. I do have a diffuser, so I do have essential oils. I can run that and, get some good smells in the house. I tried some poopery many years ago, probably when I first came out. There's that product that came out, you're supposed to spray it in the toilet before you go, and that's supposed to help envelop the whole smell and make it not be bad. So I think I may try that again. I've got it in my cart right now for the next time I order off of Amazon or something to get that product in. I'll try it. When I do, I will let you guys know how that works, if it works. Again, same, if you have any tips or tricks, leave that down below for me that I can try. I did find one channel, finally, again, same thing, YouTube channels. If you know of any YouTube channels out there that people have colostomies, leave those down below for me. Again, for all of us that, I think I heard somebody else mention that there really isn't, I think the channel I found a channel called Stoma. And he started a while ago, a couple of years ago or something. I think he's put a few videos. He doesn't have very many videos. And again, even the last one that he's posted was 3 months ago. So not very regular, but I have watched a couple of his, and some people in the comments of one of his videos somehow think I don't know what they were talking about. Maybe they were talking about the smell. Some people were mentioning using some baking soda in the bag. Oh no, I know, it was a different gal I was watching. She was talking about her ileostomy. They're talking about the smell and how to combat that. So she was using some Tic Tacs, putting some Tic Tacs in the bottom of the bag, shake them in the bottom of the bag and close it up. Sticking them like that, might not be bad, and it also can, like, they'll melt, they'll dissolve, and so they can go down the toilet. I know Maggie uses a different product. It's a little gel pack. So I'm thinking like maybe those little silica gel things, come in your shoes and stuff. It's something like that. I don't know how they dissolve or how they better. Like, she puts that in her bag to help gel up her output. So if it's too watery, that'll help make it a little bit thicker. But she also uses, she does empty her bag though. She uses a non-drainable bag, but she does drain it in the toilet. So again, I'll have to look into that. I haven't checked out the details of those tablet type things to see again if they're flushable, if it's okay to go down the toilet in the environment, As I was saying in this other video, I forgot her name. Again, like I said, I know she had an ileostomy. But obviously, again, these things can work for both. So like I said, I know she mentioned Tic Tac, somebody else mentioned some baking soda, somebody mentioned, I think, hydrogen peroxide, somebody mentioned essential oils. I do have, from when I first got my first products, I have a big bottle of like a lavender liquid that you're supposed to be able to put in there. So I did put some in a small spray bottle that I have. I've tried that within this last week or so. Like every time after I empty the bag, I put some of those drops in there, spray in there. It hasn't really worked. It hasn't taken away the smell. It's like I kind of smell a little bit of lavender and still a whole lot of poop. So there's that. Like I said, I know the Stoma nurse had hinted at that of like, do you know much about colostomies? And do you know? I was like, well, and has your ileot, has it smelled a lot? Has it, she's like, okay, well, that'll be different. So, again, like I said, if I find something that really works and all that stuff, I will let you guys know. The other thing is, I think that's it really for being, the other thing, besides the smelliness, is the noisiness. So, as you've seen in a couple of my videos, that my stoma likes to talk. So, the ileostomy, I had a little bit of noise come out here and there. So, basically passing gas, and that was okay. With the colostomy, that passes gas a whole lot more. It's a lot more noisier, but I know you're already part of this video, it started talking a little bit. Again, nothing I can control. There are no sphincter muscles on there with your stomas that can control anything. So again, the ileostomy, colostomy, neither one, you can't control your output. Again, unless you do the irrigation thing, that might help. But as a normal thing that you can't control when you go, you can't control when you have gas. You can't, so if you're in a quiet room, it may be noisy. If you're working and out here, it could just go, and it is what it is. That's what's normal for these. So that's been interesting. It's kind of for you males out there. It's kind of like, so my husband and I will have these little noise contests here kind of at nighttime. My stoma will be giving off some noise, and then my husband will kind of lift a cheek and he'll, he was farting. I'm like, okay, you're talking, you have a contest here, huh? And mine will give off some more noise, and so the fun we have at night. Woo! Oh, all right. So, other things that, at least the same, so for me, again, for both my ileostomy and my colostomy, I've been able to use the same supplies. So that's been nice. So I do have a whole bunch of supplies that I still had left over from the ileostomy and stuff, and I can use the same bags and everything and that for my colostomy. So that's been a plus. That's a bonus. I like that. Again, depending on the type of stoma that you have and stuff, you may be able to use the same supplies. You may need to get something different, depending on the size, or again the convexness of it. Your body, how much your body's changed, and things like that. So, but you might be able to do that. The other thing is for sleeping, again, the stoma's in the same spot. But for sleeping, I can sleep on my sides. You can sleep on your back. For the first couple of weeks, I'm sure I slept on the back. I was sleeping on the couch. and sleeping on my back, or that I'd turn a little bit at least, either way. Used to still be able to sleep more on my left side because nothing was there. And then after the whole surgery in December where they cut open my whole stomach and I had drain tubes on the left side, made it a little bit more difficult for me, just pain-wise, to sleep on the left side. Again, if you don't have all that, then, you know, sleeping is still normal. You can sleep on your back, you can sleep on either side. You just pretty much can't sleep on your stomach. So, or if anything, maybe for long periods of time. Again, if you know how your stoma works, if you can make it through the night, you know that you don't have a lot of output during the night or whatever, depending on when you stop eating or how it goes. You might be able to sleep on your stomach a little bit, but otherwise it obviously blocks off the whole area and you can't, the stool can't come out, or gas. That's it. For the ending of it, I suppose I'll put it out to you guys. If you'd like to help me name my stoma, leave some suggestions down below. I know a couple of you have already mentioned that in a few of my videos of you should name your stoma, you should name your stoma. And some of you have named yours, and you've let me know what those are, so you have some cute names out there. I know Maggie's stoma is named Leroy. That when she very first got it, her best friend was like, I want to see it, I want to see it. Dragged her in the bathroom and wanted to see her stoma and named it Leroy. So Maggie's like, okay, my friend named it, it stuck, that's its name. When I had the ileostomy, I mean, I thought about it, but then again, I also think it's kind of silly because it is just part of my body. It's my intestines that now just happen to be on the outside, not the inside. I don't name my intestines when they're on the inside. I don't have names for my body parts. So I've asked my family, give them first dibs on anything, and they were all kind of like, it seems weird, Mom. I don't know, forget it. I kind of told them, I'm like, oh, I call you guys sometimes like Miss Mandy and Miss Cassie, and like I could just say Miss Stoma. And Cassie's like, I don't want to be put in that same category, Mom. Just please don't. So I've come up with a couple different names. I forgot one of them. I know one of them was like Pinky, maybe for like Pinky Tuscadero, you know, from Happy Days, which again, showing my age. How long ago was that? Kind of a, you know, rough and tough that, you know, the stoma's made it through. It's resilient. It's gonna, you know, be okay. Oh, like I said, I forgot I had another name. I don't remember what. There are a few names that kind of like, you know, I get lots of people have their name Stella, and so for one, I don't want to do it because of that, and two, I actually know a Stella, and so that's just, I don't care for that. I don't want to name it something that I really know a person. And so my husband went into the AI, like ChatGPT, and put it out there. What can my wife name her stoma? And it came up with different suggestions, one of them being Stella, one of them being Sunshine, which I just kind of find ironic because Positively Sunshine is my like Instagram name and one of my email names and stuff like that. Kind of a business name, I use that. So I kind of found that funny. But in any case, that's where I'm going to leave it. So there too, yeah, I'll let you know if I choose a name and what we come up with. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed this video and got some good suggestions or ideas off of it, and or will from the comments. And again, thank you for hanging out with me and joining me on this journey. I hope you are all doing well. You guys, keep it positive. Go make it a great day. Bye-bye.